All right, so this is the main entrance. This is, messy basement. Don't look at that. This is the only part that actually matters. Yep, there's a cap. And we're gonna add another. So right away, right when you get here, you see this nice, very simple 55-gallon aquarium. It just got some minnows in it right now. It's probably all that it's going to be. This is just like it's not supposed to be a lot of work. It's just supposed to be very simple, very easy, and that's exactly what it is. It's just a nice, simple aquarium to welcome you into the fish area. So we're gonna add another aquarium right here pretty soon. Actually, we've got the aquarium. We're gonna take apart this sump. It used to be for the beta barracks. We'll get to that. And we're gonna take it apart. Well, not take it apart. Take out all the sump parts and make it into a nice 55-gallon aquarium right here. So you'll walk into this awesome double aquarium entrance that makes like a artificial doorway, right? I guess all doorways are artificial, but still. Then we got these awesome ponds. Now, the beta barracks has been offline for like, I don't know, a month or two, 3 months. It's been a while, but it's getting massive upgrades. There'll be a full video on it pretty soon. But this trough is going to become this trough. Well, I guess this, you know what I'm saying, maybe. So all the plants in here are going to get moved over into this trough, and this is going to get added to the goldfish setup. So we'll take out all the fish that are in here. There's not that many. There's probably 6, 7. And we'll move them into the 40-gallon, which you'll see pretty soon. I think that's new since the last time I did a tour down here. That's going to be annoying, but you probably don't know if you can hear it, but the air conditioning just went on. Anyways, so we're going to move all these plants over here, and that'll turn into a beta fish sorority down here, which they can be pretty but I think that it can be pretty risky, doing beta fish sorority. So you got to be careful with what fish you do in here, and it depends really on the fish. Any females that don't get along will go up with the males in this section. These are pretty small containers. There'll be a full video explaining how the system works and everything, but these are probably only a fourth of a gallon to half a gallon, but they are not very permanent residencies for these fish. Probably not going to be in there for more than 6 months, but even that's probably on the longer side. There'll be a full video on how this works pretty soon. Okay. And then here, this is pretty cool. We've got one of these really cool water bridges. So these are the exact same tank, really, and the fish can actually swim. You're not going to prove it to us by being up there, but the fish can come up through this system, up and then back down into this side. They do typically stick to the same sides, from my experience. The side that they put in first is definitely their favorite side. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can. But that one has always prefers this side. Yeah, the dog likes to watch the fish too, which is nice. But anyways, yeah. So this is a cool setup. So the reason we're doing this is because it's costing a fair amount of money to heat all this, because there's no eventually you probably will insulate this entire part of the house, because right now it's unfinished basement, right? But we will eventually probably finish it and insulate the house. This is like a 3 years down the road, like future me thing, but it costs a lot of money to heat these kind of trough things, and it's because the heaters have to be running pretty constantly. There's a lot of evaporation, heat can escape, all the stuff. So instead of heating this and this, which has to be heated for the fish up here anyways, we're thinking we're going to add another water bridge to get to this last one. And in that water bridge, so there'll become 3 goldfish ponds. I mean, in the same amount of space, you could probably get like goldfish ponds would have to be heated because it's like 7 degrees down here. We're going to see in a second, but it can range, honestly. It depends on the weather outside because it's not insulated, but it's normally pretty good temperature. So it's okay for these goldfish not to have the heaters. Like tropical fish need heaters. So as of right now, this is the setup we're looking at. Pretty cool. Now this is new too. We haven't set either of these tanks up yet, but this will be a saltwater. We've been calling it the monstrosity. So this will be pretty cool too once it's, you know, all ready to go and stuff. So this is, you see this pile of garbage pretty much. We're gonna get a massive 48-inch sump and put it right here. Probably raise it up a bit, but this still has to be higher up because it's gravity. But the massive sump will be right here, which will filter this, and upstairs is gonna be a 125-gallon aquarium. So it's gonna be 3 massive, well not massive, these are 50 gallons, but 3 pretty large aquariums all in the same massive sump. So with the larger systems in saltwater, you're able to keep the parameters more consistent. So with the more consistent parameters, it requires less water changes, and the fish will be healthier and happier, and so will the corals. All right, now this is our quarantine and breeding area. So these, we're thinking that instead of doing all these as 10 gallons, getting some 40 gallons, so we can quarantine larger fish like cichlids or like puffer fish or whatever we want to keep in the upstairs tank, which is probably going to be a saltwater predator tank of some kind. These 2 quarantines. There's nothing in there right now, but will be soon. Actually, there's 1 fish in here. So we went to our local pet store. We got some Endler guppies. But the reason we quarantine is so that if any of the fish are sick or they die from illnesses we can't really control because it's outside of our, you know, fish room, then they can be quarantined and separated from all the other fish. Right, it's a quarantine. You know, we've just been through a 3-year one, but so there's 1 fish in here somewhere. Sadly, the Endler fish, the Endler guppy, lost all her friends, so there's just 1 in there right now. We're gonna get her some more friends, and she's probably gonna end up in another 10 gallon like these. Yeah, excuse the mess, but yeah. Let's see if I can see her. I cannot. She's probably in, you know, over there hiding. Okay. So next up, we have these 3 guppy breeding tanks. So these are all pretty new, probably less than a month old. So far, we've had the most success with these ones. At the end here, you should follow me on Instagram and on my TikTok and stuff. All of that stuff is linked in the description. Let's get this out of the way. So if you did, you would know that these guys had some Guppy Fry. Yeah, see if you can see them. Yeah, you can see them kind of back there. Yeah, so this I've seen like 5 at most. These are pretty young fish, so they don't have as many as the older fish, but yeah, we got these ones here too. I'm not that good at naming of like these specific types, but yep, looking pretty good. And then we got this last one here, which is these dark, with pandas or something like that. I don't really know. Again, I'm not really good at the names of like these specific varieties, but yeah, cool fish. And they're guppies, so they should be pretty easy to breed. So this is just like the main entrance. Well, it is, but so now we got this epic water change system. So again, if you followed me on my Instagram or my TikTok, you would know that that this exists, right? This is pretty awesome. You should also check out the video on it, full description of it on the channel already. But basically what it is it's a RO DI and a, oh, this is the RO, this is the RO DI, that we're able to water change all of these tanks pretty much automatically. So you just empty the water and it will refill by itself. So up here we got the saltwater storage tank, so that's where all the salt water is mixed and stored. And then it then goes to all the aquariums that require it, so it's pretty nice. And it basically allows us to do pretty much completely automatic water changes. But the RO typically has lower pH, lower hardness. The conditions aren't right for different fish. So for that, we have to dose the tanks with like, just check out my website too, while you're checking out all of my content. But we've got, for sale, we've got the acid buffer, and we've got, let's see what we got since right here. Not high, but acid buffer and alkaline buffer work pretty great for this, and equilibrium does too, which is right there. So these Cichlid products are pretty great products, and I've got them at affordable prices. Like this, you know, Cichlid equilibrium. They're great products, and you should really check out the website. It's Also linked in the description. You get lower prices on everything, free shipping over $75. Great rewards program. Whatever you need for your fish, you can get it at a lower price there. Moving on. All right, so we got this tank right here, which this is our saltwater aquarium. Right? Yeah, obviously. So we got 2 frostbite clownfish. I keep calling them snowflakes. Again, I'm not really good at the technical, like official, like breeder names, but this is eventually going to be a cool little coral reef, but it is not currently getting dosed as a coral reef. Right now, it's just the saltwater aquarium with 2 clownfish and a bunch of live rack. So, yeah. Pretty nice. Yeah, this one's painted though. So this is actual purple algae. Well, this one is just painted. Which I don't like it when they do that, but it makes it so it looks better for a while. But anyways. Behind me, the next saltwater tank. Oh, by the way, this tour is also being done by my cat and dog. But we've got this saltwater column. So it's 15 gallons. It's a tiny little tank with some of these little, well, not little, they're quite large corals, but they used to be out in the hangar, but probably going to move them back out there eventually. But as of right now, this is their current home. Yeah, these are pretty nice clownfish. Again, not good at the breeder names or whatever, but I have it written down somewhere. But these are some pretty cool fish too. They got some, and these we actually found at Petco, which is so weird to find like such nice looking fish there, but you know, I would suggest though staying away from Petco as like your #1 fish supplier. So if you do want to, like, majority of the fish here are from our local fish store, but Petco does have some fish that are pretty nice sometimes, but you got to be careful because they're a lot of times diseased or they're in pretty rough conditions. So you gotta bring them back up to health. So this is our African cichlid tank, which sadly we just had a massive outbreak of this parasite that takes away their food from the fish, and yeah, so it's it sucks. We lost quite a few fish, probably a dozen or so, and so right now there's not many fish in here, but luckily we were able to save these many by just dosing the medication, you know. So we've got, okay, so next, so this is a pretty cool tank when it's like fully operational, but right now it's in a pretty odd state because it's not getting a water change in a while for the medicine. But whenever it looks nicer, there'll be a full video on it. Okay, this tank, again, if you follow my Instagram, you would know that I had redone this tank a bit. I moved, there's a bunch of plants, like these things take over pretty quick. I don't know what they're called. I don't know the real names, but I'm gonna say this a lot of times, I guess, but it was coming out here, and it was, okay, you can see it. It was coming out here, and it was like taking over the tank a bit. So I've just cut it back, pushed it back, and now it looks really nice in here, which is nice. We're trying to get this grass here. It's a little bit of it to fill up this space. It's gonna take like a year, but nonetheless. And this tank is pretty bare. Besides all these plants, we just got these 3 koi angelfish, which again, 3 koi angelfish in a 29 gallon. This is definitely not going to be their permanent home. Probably eventually going to get their own 40-gallon breeder. So as of right now, they're the only fish in here. But once they get bigger, they will be. What's the word I'm looking for? They will be moved when they get too big for this tank. And this tank here, now this is like one of the best tanks we've got, but we've got a massive outbreak of this cyanobacteria, which is like, or slime algae, whatever you want to call it, which is annoying because nothing eats it. Finally, your fish went off. But anyways, I'm gonna sit down to enjoy the tank, you know. So it's stocked with some pretty magnificent angelfish here. These are silvers. Pretty nice fish, and it's got a bunch of schooling fish too. They're pretty comfortable, so they're not schooling, which is, you know, a bit annoying, but because the schooling looks so cool when I do it. But we've got 4 Siamese algae eaters in here too. These guys are pretty nice. A bunch of bottom eaters, bottom feeders, like this guy here. This is a panda koi, and you got some cardinal tetras and some rag tetras. Pretty much just like a massive community tank with a bunch of cool fish. Yeah, so it's doing pretty good. I mean, it looks like it's in so condition because of all this. There was like an explosion of green because the background's also green, but it's looking pretty good otherwise. But so this these plants over here are starting to do much better than they were before. So they're getting they're starting to use CO2, and this tank is starting to get CO2, which is why the plants are doing so much better than they were. So yeah. Okay. Next. Oh, actually, before I next tank, got my dog, and look at this. So this is our do-it-yourself. We built this thing. Excuse me, dog. Yes. Okay. So we got this. This is so out of all this entire tank, we only need very little mechanical filtration, which is this filter sock, and that will catch all the debris. And if any fish somehow gets through, which that's never happened before, but they would get stuck in there. So you got a cap on the overflow. So, and because of the way, so we got this tank used at our local fish store, and the hole was drilled right in the center. Because the last guy who used it had 3 of them through these 120s, and they used one of them as a sump. So the holes were in weird spots. So this one was in the exact center. So we had to build up this hill. This well, it's not really a hill, it's underwater, but this all this rock here to get so the tubing actually comes up probably somewhere like right here, and it has to get pushed all the way back and up. So there's probably like $300 of rock in here, but this is before my website was like fully operational, and now the rock on our website is so much less expensive, and you can get it for free shipping. So you get rock that's already last, and it's free shipping too. So it's pretty cool. But anyways, back to the filter. So this is all biological media in here. It's all biological media. It's filled with these cinder blocks. They're 4 biological media. They're made of like a like a ceramic material. This is actually a fluidized bed, fluidized beds are always so cool, I think. So the way it works is that the biological media is getting spin and stirred around. So it will hit each other and it will knock the dead ones off. So this makes it more space efficient than this. Well, it still needs a lot more of it than this, but it makes it so that it's more constantly covered in biological media and does a better job filtrating. System in the back there is more biological media, and that's also the return. So there's 3 of these troughs under here that are keeping this tank looking this like crystal clear. It's pretty nice. And that light in there is a UV light to kill any algae or anything. So it might also be killing the biological media in there, but it's pretty minimal if it is. So yeah. Okay, so we've got, I think, 2 more tanks in our fish room. We've got this one. This is just a 40-gallon tank for our pair of angelfish. There's also 4 screw attachers in here. So these guys typically breed better when there is dillerfish. Actually, I've not had any success with them breeding without dillerfish. So like just random fish, really. So they haven't bred yet in this, so I've had the most success in like a larger, well, probably around this size tank with a ton of other fish is where I have the most success with these guys. So, yeah, you're gonna see how they do. I mean, they haven't yet bred with this setup, but it's looking pretty epic. And this tank is a lot for display too. So these fish are getting near the end of their reproductive life. They're like 3 years old right now, so they are already they're already starting to get past the age where they reproduce best. So this got some plants. It's got this epic dragonstone, which again you can get for really cheap on my website. You can keep plugging it throughout the entire thing, but you can get this for pretty low prices. I mean, I think it was like $60 for 40 pounds of it, plus free shipping over $75. So just buy one more thing and bam, you got all this amazing rock. The last tank, and one of the coolest ones, is our frag tank. So we've got a bunch of corals in here still. This is kind of like also our coral quarantine. There's no other fish in it right now. There's no crabs. but we're having a bit of a flatworm problem. So these little flatworms are in there, and this is the only tank that has a huge problem with it. So we're gonna move all these corals up to our hanger tank, which is in our hanger, and yeah. So these guys are going to do a new tank, and this tank's going to get like pretty massive water change, get all the flatworms out of there using flatworm exit, and yeah. So we got a pretty nice sump down here too. Here's the media reactor, scam area now. It's got all the gadgets, and this is probably as much water as in this top part as in the bottom part. I think it's around a 30-gallon system. It's 14-gallon top, so it's probably a majority of it is in the sump here. So it has a lot of water volume, while at the same time maintaining a lower profile, Okay, there you go. Those are all the fish tanks in my fish room. We've got 2 more saltwater tanks in the house and a goldfish tank, plus our outdoor aquarium. Excuse me, but yeah, this is just our fish room, and it took 20 minutes to show you all of it, so I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button below and subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.